What's up, dudes and dudes to the internet? My name's Scyushi and we're back as more. And today is a video that's been years in the making. Not really, but it has been years since I did one of these videos, which is a mod highlight video. Now, today we're going to be focusing on costumes in no particular order. I just thought, hey, these looked cool. Let me just record a bunch of them. And then, hey, next thing I knew, I ended up having enough of them for a full video. I'm hoping to kind of continue this series and bring it back just to shed light and highlight some of the modding community. And hopefully what might end up happening out of this is it might inspire some of you to start modding some files. All of my old videos explaining how to get into modding pretty much are still relevant as far as I know. The only difference would be is that I don't think Zoxel exists anymore, which was the old tool that we ended up using for modding and stuff. But yeah, so these costumes are in no particular order. Yes, I'll talk about this Shadow Hunter costume. And otherwise, I hope you end up enjoying the video. Here we got a meme costume, which is by Spooky in our Discord. And it is the Centaur Dino Tamer. I couldn't actually find this on Trove Tools. I had to actually download the Tmod file. But I mean, oh. Well, it doesn't change the dinosaurs. I guess it just changed the costume itself. But either way, it replaces the cami costume for the Dino Tamer, which as far as I know is like I think that's a paid costume. But look at this. He's beautiful. I like how the back legs don't even work. Here, I gotta get a screenshot of this while I'm in here. Get out of here, extra dinosaur. Oh, Lord. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. Oh, it throws down a pizza, though. Oh, that's nice. Now, I'm a bit of a sucker when it comes to anything to do with samurai stuff. And this is the Samurai Revenant by Storm Knight 23. And I mean, it looks freaking cool, dude. Like, if this was a Revenant costume, I might actually try to swap and be Revenant as my main. It's replaces the level 10 Revenant costume, the Bone Dragon Helm, and the Lance of the Lost, which is the Bone Dragon Spear. It doesn't end up changing any VFX, I don't think, but you know, that's pretty uncommon for a costume to end up changing VFX anyway. I just really like the style. Here we have one called the Shogun's Spirit, another Revenant costume. This is from 2021. This is how old some of these costumes are. There's not many modders for Trove anymore. But anyways, this is by BAJ1ET, and it replaces the hat and costume of the level 10 Revenant. The spear is just from Forbidden Spires. It's the broadleaf guandao. I don't know how to pronounce it, whatever. But either way, no new VFX or anything like that. Just a really cool costume, if I do say. I love the detail on it. I will say that I don't really think that costumes like this get into the game very often, where it's got a lot of color and detail and shading work. Like, this is like pixel art, the costume. And usually the costumes that I see added into the game not in any way are less detailed. They're just a lot more refined and less visually noisy, I guess I would say. I'm not saying that as a criticism. I'm just saying it as an observation. This one is the Spires Shinobi, and it seems like it's a bit of a collab effort because Spookter is the one who submitted it, but some of the helmets seem like they were made by Evil Magician, which those of you in the modding community know that dude very much. My light's not on, so my green screen was probably acting up. But this costume actually has a couple different sword styles and a couple different hat styles. The costume itself is the level 10 Neon Ninja costume, and I mean, I love it just because, you know, ninja guy, go burr. But then otherwise it replaces the level 1 Fey Trickster costume, the level 2 Fey Trickster costume, basically the level 1 and level 10, I think. Same with the Knight, it's the early 2 headsets, and then the sword style is going to end up being the Neon Ninja starting weapon and then the Knight starting weapon. Don't seem to see any different VFX, but again, that's pretty standard. Now here's a trip down memory lane. You guys might remember that when the Lunar Lancer was added into the game, I ended up making a Spider-Man pack, and I also ended up making this city build, which looking back on it is pretty gross with its lack of shading and whatever else. Not that I'm like that good of a builder, but I just remember spending hours swinging around here and just doing all sorts of parkour. This costume I actually have for Spider-Man, Venom, and even Carnage. I'm not necessarily saying that this person is ripping off my costume. My costume is so freaking old. I'm not surprised that someone is making a new one. This is G the V. and he ended up making a Spider-Man costume. There is a Venom costume, which actually looks pretty cool, but I can't find what costume it replaces because it doesn't seem to mention it on the actual page, and I'm not seeing like a Venom suit. I'm not trying to knock their mod or say that they copy and pasted all my stuff or anything like that. They probably did it all original. I'm just saying it's pretty funny how they ended up kind of coming up with the same idea. Not that it's like that unique an idea. Like hell, I remember back in the day when I was making this Spider-Man costume, my brother was playing Trove at the time, and we were kind of working on an Avengers pack where every class was going to end up having like a Marvel themed costume, but it kind of fell through. And this is currently the Shadowhunter costume that I've been using, which is the Samurai Hunter. It's got some nice details to it. It's an overall very dark costume, so you can't see most of the details, but I love the idea that they ended up changing the bow into a sword being held at that angle. They even ended up adding the sheath for the katana. The helmet, unfortunately, is uncentered, which bothers me, but that's just because Trove helmets in the game are like the whole helmet would need to be one block over, like an additional block over in its thickness. It's just how Trove modding works, and I don't regret like moving on from modding myself. But anyways, this is by Crits Deo, and it changes the level 10 Shadowhunter costume, the Wanderer's Wicker hat, which is already a good vanilla hat in game, and then the Guardian of Silver Moon bow. Doesn't really change any VFX, not even the throwdown trap, or maybe I've got a conflicting file. But yeah, I love this thing. Here we've got the Auric Shadowhunter, which is by G the V, and I love it. I think this is a fantastic costume for the Shadowhunter. Really brings out the power of the class, and also a unique idea that the cape isn't just the little scroll cape. It's actually like a full one, which, you know, it looks a little bit weird just because the way that the Shadowhunter is designed, basically for modded files, you can only really add on to what already is existing, which basically means that this modder ended up taking the cape and just extending it out and kind of, yeah. But I love the way that it looks. I love the extra detail to it all. Ignore the bow, it doesn't have a bow. This replaces the level 20 Shadowhunter costume and the level 20 Shadowhunter helm. Again, I don't know whether or not I've got a conflicting mod that's replacing everything with the traps and junk, but overall, this is just badass, dude. This is the Mercurial Messenger. I think that's how it's pronounced, but it's by Spookster, and it's a Solarian costume. We don't get many Solarian costumes, or at least I haven't been looking at many of them. I really like the style of it. You know, it's all the, I assume it's like Norse god or Greek god or so. I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend that I know. But it replaces the max level Solarian costume and a helmet, and then the default bow of the Shadowhunter. I love how it's got like the phoenix and everything. It's just very thematically on point as far as a Solarian costume is concerned. Now, there's quite a few Minecraft mods for Trove actually, but I thought that today we could focus on the diamond armor for the Shadowhunter. This is by Taku, and it replaces the starter Shadowhunter costume and the Shadome, which, yeah, you don't really see things replacing the Shadome these days. Not sure what the cape is. Maybe that's supposed to be elytra or something. I don't know. But I think it's just hilarious how stupid this looks. Because you think about like how blocky Minecraft is and just how much blockier Trove is with the character designs. Oh, I see. So I'm looking at the mod picture and that's the wrong cape. So, you know, I keep referencing how like, oh, maybe my mods are conflicting. So if I actually look at my costume, you can see my starter Shadowhunter costume is actually like my custom costume that I got by Be Yellow, I think, years ago. Like back in the day, if you just took the mod files and threw them into your Trove folder, it would essentially replace the default file with that new item. And so what's happening, I think, is I'm putting a new mod on, but I'm using Tmod loader, and it's not overwriting the base file as it should, just because of, it's just a weird conflicting error. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Smash like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment in the comments section. Share the video if you want to, entirely up to you, but it does help me out, and I desperately need your help. Please do it. Share the video, like right now. Right now, you only got a few more seconds left. Like, it's almost done. I'm getting sucked into the void.